So, today I am doing a reading on Felix Seder. So, Felix Seder is one well known figure in this whole Trump story. He's supposed to be or have been some sort of Russian mobster. I don't know. And he's involved in some shady dealings that Trump was involved in, or something like that. He has or has had an office in Trump Towers, and he is a US citizen, I believe, from Russia. And there's some talk about him having been or being some sort of FBI informant. You can look him up, okay? I watched a documentary, a Dutch documentary that came out a few months ago about his involvement with Trump and how that somehow signifies Trump's ties to the Russia mob, something like that. Again, it's just, I don't know much about him other than these reports, and I don't remember the exact um, details. So I just wanted to find out more because he was on the news a little while back about being in meeting with Trump or being in touch with Trump after the election or something like that. And he's one of these people that Trump always denies knowing. So this is just an opportunity to find out more. Okay, so looking at what we have here, the main reading, we have the position 5, the chariot, and the crossroads card, which is the card related to the election. So we see here that's, oh, and by the way, I just wanted to go back a little bit because the question is not necessarily about him, but the question really was, what is Felix Sater's role in the Mueller investigation? Okay, I even pulled out Mueller's card to ask the question in the legal context. How is he going to use him? Is he going to use him at all? How does it fit into the story? Okay, so now we can go back to the reading because it's not really just about him or what he's been up to, but really what he is in relationship to the investigation. Okay, so looking at the chariot, position 5, and the election. So to me, that means winning the election. He knows something about winning the election. And then going back to the first column, and I just wanted to point out a few things about this reading that I thought were remarkable. I don't say unusual is not the right word because there's no right or wrong or exact right way. It's just something that I noticed right away when I first looked at the reading. So the first thing I noticed is that in terms of tarot, there are 5 major arcana cards, and the major arcana cards are the quote unquote major themes in tarot. So whenever they come up, if they come up very strongly, that means it's a big deal, it's important, pay attention. And this is definitely one of these instances. And the other important thing about them is that there are no reversals, which is just something I noticed. And so that's one thing. It just right away this would tell me that whatever contribution he's going to make will be significant. Just in terms of the fact that I use the tarot cards in these readings that I'm creating with Little Norman as thematic, right? There's what is this about? What is the how does it color the events? So it's saying that however it colors the events, it does it in a big way. Okay, so we have that. All right, and we have the chariot, which is another card related to choice, election, winning, at the very center. So it's a good thing. And then we also have the world, which is the last card, which is a card of completion, which is interesting and important too. But going to the first column, we have the Hierophant, which I've said before in another reading. It's the quote unquote Illuminati card, right? It's a group of people who are sort of the gatekeepers to the norms in a way. And it's a group of people who aren't always, because you could say the emperor is somebody known, right, as a center of an enterprise or a government, is a position of leadership. But the Hierophant, you don't always know about them, okay? So he is talking with or about this powerful group of people. Now that's significant because it's the first card, Okay, and then there's also the Lenormand. Of course, I'm doing all these readings in the Lenormand style, and there are many ways to read the cards. So it's always about the combination of cards. And when you look at here, let's say 1 5, you can always read it in the diagonal as well. It's basically anytime the cards cross, you should look at what it says. So if you look at, because I saw the Hierophant and I thought, oh, chariot. And then I saw they're connected. And then I drew the line 159. And you see that it starts with a conversation with these powerful people. And then it goes into winning the election. And then 9 means being aggressive about getting to the White House. Okay, so there's all these little meanings, all these little things that it begins to unravel the narrative, like to put together the narrative, I mean. Okay? All right, so number 2, position number 2, we have the Page of Cups reversed and corruption. So the Page of Cups reversed could be bad news. It could also be, I think, in the context of the president, it means a kind of a tantrumy, childlike personality, okay? And then we have, of course, mice means theft, loss, corruption. And then we have underneath the world and the lady, which to us represents Russia. Okay, so that's very interesting. I know he's Russian. We know he's Russian. But if we think of the world as a card of not just like being on the top of the world, but also a card of completion and achieving your goal, your ultimate goal, not just winning, but getting to the top of the world, we have Russia on top of it. So to me, this says that he's part of the conversation with this man, from the powerful people to the man who's engaging in corruption, about getting to the top of the world with the help of Russia. Okay, so this is very clearly stated. And if you look at the Lenormand storyline, it's birds, which means stalking, mice, which means corruption, and the lady. So talking about these corrupt, shady acts with Russia. So that's his role. Somehow he's involved in this. And now that I'm saying this, I remember there was it him? I think I don't know if it was him or Michael Cohen that were said to be involved in his emails about. Was he? I think it was him who said, "Oh, can you believe? I'll tell my homies that we made a president or something like that." I remember this now that I'm reading this meaning and thinking about what it's saying. This came back to my mind anyway. So, so then we go to the center, the column 456. We have the Wheel of Fortune and the letter. So the Wheel of Fortune means basically the Wheel of Fortune, or changing fortunes for the better. So that means, because it's upright, means great thing, something could change for the better, good changes, positive changes. And we have here the letter. And then we know that it could be that it's about emails, okay? It could be email information. It could also be Hillary's emails, the whole old meme of Hillary. It could be written communication. So it's written communication of some sort about changing the positive fortune in favor of Trump, okay? And then we have, if we look at position, we've already looked at position 5. Looking at position 6, we have the 9 of Wands reversed, which means a person who is willing to do anything to get what he wants. Okay, so has no more, like, basically would just go for it no matter what. Okay, he's not thinking of consequences. He's not thinking of other people. It's just he'll do anything. So we have the book, which means secret, right? So the secret about him going to any lengths to get what he wanted, the election, right? Which is, you see, the center of the reading. So that information, and if we look at the position 6, it's right next to 3, and it confirms that this willingness to go any length is related to Russia crowning him in a way, because the world is like being on the top of the world. It's showing that Russia is responsible for it in some way or another, and that he has access to the secret about him going all the way in order to ensure his victory. Okay, and then we have, looking at the last column, we have the Magician, the Coffin, and then we have 2 of Swords upside down, Mountain, and 9, the White House. Okay, so that is interesting because that means magician's very powerful, achieving your goals, but that comes to an ending. Okay, and then the Two of Swords means the choice, right? Making the wrong choice leads to problems, long-term problems. And then having access to the house, I think that's what it means. I've said this has come up before many other readings, that is the person has access to the White House. When it comes with a house, that's what it means. So what I'm getting is that this power of getting these things done, all this like seemingly incredible ability to get the man into the government, will lead to problems because that was the wrong decision. And if you look at the last row, because Russia achieved the world, Russia gave him the world in a way, right? Then they also want access to the White House, obviously. So this is what I'm getting. I'm getting that. So then the question was, because the original question was, will what is his role in the investigation? How will Mueller use him? Okay, so so that was interesting because to me this says nothing about him, right? In the sense of it said basically the first column does tell us about him and his role, but I don't think the consequences are about him. To me, the consequences are about what he has witnessed. Okay, and so let's just putting these together again. I don't believe I did that for the middle column 456. So letter and election, secret. So the letter related to the election is secret. The communications about the election are secret. And then the last column, we have an ending because of the incredible opposition in the White House. So, so that means it's over, baby, because it's too hard now. You fucked up, all right, and that yeah, basically an ending because of the unsurmountable challenges related to this house, the White House. Okay, so then if we look again, if we're looking for themes, we can also do the other diagonal 753, ending to something related to the election because of Russia. And we can also, there's many ways that you can read these things together, but basically it all says it's very logical and it makes a lot of sense to us, right? If we read the second row, corruption related to the election leads to a lot of opposition and challenges. The secret about Russia in the White House is the last row. Okay, so that we have a very clear picture, and I think the importance of his here has, like I said, has a lot to do with the major cards, major arcana cards, and if we look at them, it starts with him having access to these very important people, being part of it and talking with and about them. Okay, and then understanding how the letter, it could be the so-called Hillary letter, emails, or written communications that changed things for the better for Trump, and feeling incredibly powerful as the magician. Right, I could do anything, but that was the undoing. You're not that powerful. You're actually bound to a contract. If you look at the last row of the world, right? Russia owns them because they put him there. Okay, so that's what we have, and then I'm going to stop this part of the reading because I think I covered everything, and I'm just going to show you three more sets of cards that I pulled out because I wasn't sure. I thought to myself, is it going to prison? I couldn't tell. So I pulled out three more cards, and to me that says that he is going to collaborate with Mueller. Okay, just hold on and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I'm back here with the three additional cards that I drew. Sets of cards, I mean, positions. And the question was, is he going to jail? Okay, I think that's a question I asked for these cards. And no, I don't think he's going to jail at all, because you see here that, and what it tells me is that here the key, what do we have here? The key means, I think, key witness, because we have the card of party and celebration. So if you go to jail, you're definitely not going to be celebrating. Nobody would, right? So he's happy to be talking. And so all these rumors about this, so this guy I've read before, oh, look at this guy, he's like some Russian mobster. He talked about ABCD. How come he's still alive? He's never gone to jail. Basically, it looks like it's true that he's been an FBI informant. Okay, so like I said, if you have the Three of Cups, you're celebrating, you're happy, and in a way, it must be because he achieved his goal of delivering the goods. Right? He must have access to all this information that's important in the investigation, or otherwise we wouldn't have the key here. Okay, and we have the number two position, we have the burden card, right? So too much work for growth, right? So the key to growth, and that what is the key to growth? The growth is money. So at the end, we have the finances card. I don't think it's also the boss. Could be, could also be that, because we'll look at the high priestess, which I've said before is the card of this something that's not yet known. It's secret and something that's not yet known, which is even more powerful than just a secret alone, right? So looking at that, we think, okay, so he knows he's happy because he achieved his job, and he knows he's burdened. And in a way, if you think about it, this could mean that he knows a lot to be burdened, right? Is to have rumbled to know a lot. So he knows a lot about growth, about the early, probably the growth of Trump's business, because he's been there from the very beginning, or from for a long time, something like that. And then he knows more about the boss. It could be the boss, or it could be the money related to the boss. So that's what that's what he's going to say, I think. Okay, so like I said, there's no card. I didn't see the card. Well, I didn't say before. I didn't see the card of the deal, which to me, in a way, indicates that it's probably that he's been an informant for a long time. I didn't see the card of snake, which is interesting, right? That, yeah, I don't see that card of the snake, but at the same time, I feel like there's, again, if things looked really bad for him, we would have seen any of the, like, I think he has very few, there are very few bad cards in this reading. They're actually quite positive. So I don't think very many bad things are going to happen to him. I just think he is another one of the key witnesses that know a lot and that are going to provide information. Okay, so that was that. Felix Seder. All right, thanks for watching.